All right, so welcome to our first team call for 2018. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like 2017 literally flew. Like we blinked and it was gone. Faster than any year before, I feel like. But super excited to talk tonight about game planning for 2018. So we have Empowered Elite on here tonight. We have Team Forever Strong and we have Team Mountain Strong as well. And I don't know if anybody else has trickled in from anywhere else, but so excited to have so many on tonight. So just going to kind of share what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be talking about creating a vision and making a vision board. And then Kathy is going to talk about how to be strategic with your goals for the year. And then Laura is going to share how she had such a game-changing year last year, because I think it's really important to hear from other leaders about what they're doing to have growth in their businesses. So super excited. First and foremost, give yourself a pat on the back for getting on tonight's team call. Team calls are so important. To feel connected with your team, to feel inspired, to feel motivated, to constantly just be learning and growing. And team calls are where it's at for doing that. So thank you for being here. And I wanted to share about vision tonight because this is something that has been so powerful for me. And I will say that last year, out of all 4 years of being a coach, was probably where I had the least amount of vision. And I definitely saw how that panned out in my business versus the year that I was very clear on what it is I wanted, where I was heading, and how I was going to get there. So with that said, there is no being perfect with something like this, but the clearer you are on why you are here and what it is you want and how it's going to impact your life, the better off you're going to be throughout the year, but just for showing up on a day-to-day basis, because it is hard sometimes and it does take consistency and it does take growth and it does take discipline. So the clearer you are and the more aligned you feel with the things you're working towards, the better off you're going to be no matter what happens in the year to come, right? So talking about vision, I have been working on making a vision board, a new one for the past couple weeks now. And I was really looking at the vision board that I created as a brand new coach. And I literally just sat down with like a piece of cardboard and I did magazine clippings. I printed certain things out. I put words on there that inspired me. But if you guys want to take out a sheet of paper, we're just going to kind of do a little exercise about like how to create a vision for yourself. And this is not just going to be geared towards business. We want to create a vision for your life, right? Because business is just a part of your life. It is not your life as a whole, but your business does affect a lot of other aspects of your life, right? If we do it right, it affects pretty much everything. So it's important to get clear on what it is you want. And you can think about this in terms of your business, your health, your family dynamics, motherhood, your fitness journey, your personal growth, your spiritual growth, goals that you have. But, take a look at all of these different aspects, and like, you don't necessarily have to do this right now on this call, because it is good to give yourself, a half an hour of time and sit down and really just do like a brain dump. If you guys have never done a brain dump before, this is where you're just kind of sitting down and thinking about all of the things that come to you and getting them out on paper. It doesn't need to be organized. You don't need to worry about if you put too much or not enough. Just let those things come freely to you when you think about the vision of what you want your life to be like and look like and feel like. And an important thing to think about when you're doing this with a vision is don't allow like all those limiting beliefs that you have to creep in while you're brainstorming. Just sit down with this pen and paper and think, if I were to wake up tomorrow and live my ideal life, what would that look like? Where would I live? What would my home look like? How present would I be for my marriage, for my children? What would I be doing on a day-to-day basis? And let yourself really dream. Because without the dream, we're not really allowed to expand from where we're at right now, right? And that's the whole point of creating this vision. And, you know, depending on where you're at right now in your life, you might have a lot of the things that you want and you might feel like you have none, you know? I was listening to a call the other night actually of another coach in the company who was talking about a similar concept, and she was saying not to feel guilty when you're dreaming big, because you can feel blessed and grateful while also still wanting more, and that's okay, and you're worthy of that and you're deserving of that, right? And that's something that personally came up a lot for me and still does from time to time, is saying I am worthy of these things, right? I am deserving of these things, and I can create those for myself. So like I said, just sit down with a pen and paper, and allow yourself to get really clear on what it is you want. And like I said, you can write down goals, you can write down words, you can write down feelings that you want. So for example, you might say, I want to wake up and feel more confident and have less negative self-talk, right? That can be something you put on your vision board. What else? Let's see. Okay, so the next part of this, after you do your brain dump and after you kind of have this list of all these goals and dreams and feelings for all the various aspects of your life, the next thing that is really important to do, like I was just kind of hinting at, is to write down the limiting beliefs that come up for you when you think of these things. Because when I started this business, actually the end of this month is going to be my 4-year anniversary, which is just crazy to me. But I was literally had just moved out of living above my mom's garage, trying to get back on my feet, a college dropout, a single mom, no support, struggling in every sense of the word. And it felt really, really crazy and audacious for me to put things like a house on my vision board, or put these things that just seem so far away and so out of reach and so unrealistic. But that's the point of this, right? It's to expand what comes to you and what aligns for you in your life and what you're really moving towards. So after you have this kind of dump list of all these things that you're, you know, super inspired by and super excited about, sit down and write down a list of your limiting beliefs. And they might be things like, I don't deserve this. I'm not worth it. I fear judgment. I'm too ordinary. I am not consistent enough to create that. I'm scared of failing. I'm scared of succeeding. I fear what others think of me. You know, whatever these things are, and you can probably come up with them pretty quickly. When you sit down and you think about something really big you want in your life, or what that idea looks like for you, you can think about these limiting beliefs and fears that come up for you, right? We all have them. And it kind of brings me back to a call we had a couple weeks ago on mindset. And he talked a lot about how, like this circular pattern that we get caught in sometimes, that a lot of times we let the outcome of where we're at right now create our thoughts, that create our feelings, that create our actions, and that give us that same exact outcome. Whereas if we get clear on our vision and we feel excited and inspired and we feel moved and we feel, you know, our heart is connected to that and we're pumped about it. And every day you look at that and you think, that's what I want for my life. That's what I'm working towards. That's what I'm moving forward towards. That's what I deserve. That's what my family deserves, right? And those feelings of, you know, being excited and motivated and inspired create new thoughts, that create new feelings, that create new actions that align you with having different outcomes, right? So if, you know, you're not somebody that's too into things like energy, that's kind of what we're talking about here with vision boards. You know, sticking things up on a vision board that have no meaning to you, or that just don't really connect and align with like you on the inside, aren't really going to get you anywhere different, right? The concept of this is to create a vision board where you put it where you're sitting down to work every day. And when you look up at that board, you feel moved, right? They always say, you know, when you're a new coach, like create a why that makes you cry. It's the same kind of a thing. Like this vision should make you have all those feels inside, whether it's in your tummy or your heart, or, you know, you get kind of jittery and excited. But having this clarity is so important. And so when you have this list of limiting beliefs that you've created, you know, I'm a full believer that like you don't need years of therapy to get past these limiting beliefs. Um, you know, you don't need to just sit there and stew on these things, but you do have to decide that you want to internally shift those feelings. And that is a lot of what we're doing with personal development, right? Because personal development is helping you think differently and take different actions, right? I like to think about it that like we have all this empty space in our brain on a day-to-day basis. And if we're not filling it intentionally with something, you're just getting the same thoughts over and over and over. So putting in new input of positive information and things that inspire you, things that excite you, things that make you think differently, and become someone different can entirely shift the way that we show up in our lives and the way that we take action in our lives, right? So when you have this list of limiting beliefs that you've created, you can do whatever you want with it. You can burn it, you can flush it down the toilet, you can rip it up in a billion pieces. But like when you look at these things, think about this. Take one limiting belief at a time. Like for me, one that I've always struggled with and still do to this day is I feel inadequate. Inadequate as a mother, as a leader, as a coach, as whatever. Inadequacy is something I've struggled with my whole life. And when I think about that feeling, it makes me feel really agitated, right? Now, what we're working towards getting to with these limiting beliefs is getting to a place where we feel calm, where we feel clear, where we have released the need to energetically attach to that because it's something that we've created. Therefore, it's something we can release, right? So whatever it is that you want to do with getting rid of these, if you look up, if you're into energy like I am, there are exercises you can do for stuff like this. Meditation is great. You can do meditations about, you know, self-love, of confidence, of, you know, envisioning your life. There are things such as tapping. Does anybody know about tapping? I'm curious. Yes, there's a couple. But there are meridian lines on your body that you can literally tap on, like places on your body where you can repeat these thoughts and these feelings that will literally calm you down and change your energy. And some of y'all might think I'm crazy, but if you try it a few times, you might believe me. But there are things that you can do to work on releasing those feelings and those thoughts and those beliefs, right? So this is really a 2-part exercise with creating this, or 3-part actually. So the number 1 is writing the stump list, getting clear on what it is you want in all those aspects of your life. The number 2 is writing down all of those limiting beliefs and fears and thoughts that you have and working on releasing them. And then step 3 is the actual fun part. But we had to go through that first to get here. Because the thing is, guys, like, if you don't take the time to do those 2 exercises first, like I said, you're just going to stick things on a vision board because they sound cool, or you see somebody else doing that, or something you've always wanted, but, you know, maybe you've never really believed you could have that, right? And I'll tell you what, a really funny thing that I've kind of learned is the clearer you are with what you put on your vision, the better off you're going to be. Because something that I put on my vision board as a brand new coach was a house. Up until last year, this time last year, we lived in a condo and then we moved into a home. But I didn't specify that I wanted to own a home. So we still rent a house, right? So now when I put a home on my vision board, I'm going to put on it, buy my own home, right? So the more specific you get with this, the better. So now I'm going to screen share really fast in case some of you have never done this. And like I said, you can do this old school with magazines if you want. You can do it however it is you want to do it, but I was just going to show you a quick little exercise. So has anybody ever used PicMonkey before? graphic addicts like we are. So if you go to picmonkey.com, you can click on design and then click on blank canvas. And you can select a decent size. This is great. You can make it, you can print it out and hang it up. You can use it as your, desktop saver on your computer, whatever it is that, something you're going to be looking at on a day-to-day basis, right? I'm looking for the one that I use for this. Let's see. Okay, so let's use this one just for an example, right? So once you pick your blank canvas, you can go on Google, you can go on Pinterest, but you can search pictures that are things that you want to put on your vision board. So maybe you want to put on there to have, abs by summertime, or you want to put on there a dream home like I do, or you want to put on there your dream car or whatever. And remember, guys, like I said, you can be blessed and you can be grateful, but you can still want more, right? So once you have this blank canvas here, you can go in, you can change the color if you want. And then if you click on this little butterfly right here, after you've saved your photos, you can go in and add your own. So I saved a couple just to show you guys. So I put a dream kitchen. I love cooking. I would love to have a dream kitchen. I would love to have Kathy's kitchen, actually. But you can go ahead and go put these things on your board like this, right? Another thing I absolutely want when I have a home is a home gym space. So I put that on there. And I printed out a picture of a family because, as you know, I am a single mom. I've really not had that much in my path for a while because I didn't desire to, but that's something that I want for my life. So that's something I'm putting on there. But after you create this collage, you can click on export, and then it should pop up right here where you can export it and you can save it to your desktop. And then you can go ahead and use it. Like I said, you can print it out or you can use it on your desktop as a screensaver. But it's really helpful to be looking at that every day and know what you're moving towards, because if you can align your vision with your goals and with your why, then you have a secret sauce for success. So I hope that was helpful. Kathy is going to talk to you now about goal setting.
Nice. Thanks, Dana. That was fantastic. Happy New Year, guys. I'm Kathy Reuter. In case you don't know who I am, I'm sure you probably do because I'm a loudmouth. But I'm really, really fired up to be able to talk to you guys tonight. And I'm going to be talking to you guys about two different things tonight that are going to really help you. So the first thing that I want to talk to you tonight about is the difference between setting your goals and reaching your goals. And I'm going to give you guys 3 secrets so that you can actually achieve the goals that you set for yourself for 2018. And then I'm going to give you guys 3 ways to prevent yourself from putting or letting those goals get on the back burner. Okay, so this is going to be really helpful for you guys. So the first part here, the difference between going out there and setting goals and then reaching your goals. So it's one thing when you sit there and you just start to think about the goals that you want to achieve in 2018, right? You start to think about the things that you want to achieve. That's not good enough. We have to focus on right off the bat taking action, daily action, intentional action every single day to lead yourself to these goals that you want to achieve. So the first thing that you need to know, and the first secret to actually achieving those goals that you set out, and whatever they are that you put for yourself, you're going to have your whole, vision board out, like Dana said, and you're going to have like personal goals, you're going to have health and fitness goals, you're going to have business goals, whatever it is. The first secret is to actually taking some form of action. Okay, so get that right there in your mind. A lot of times, guys, like we'll have goals like, oh, I really want to be fit, or I want to become a 2-star diamond in 2018, or I'd love to, walk across the stage at Summit as a 5-star diamond. And we think about that end goal, but we don't actually think about the steps that need to be taken that are going to lead us there. And this is where that reverse engineering comes into place, where you actually need to look at that bigger goal that you want to achieve and then break it down into smaller goals, smaller tasks and action steps that you need to take in order for you to reach that bigger goal. Does that make sense? Okay. So think about that end result and then think about what you're going to do to actually get there. So it's not just thinking it, it's not just writing it down, it's actually putting a plan into place of what am I going to do every day, week after week, month after month, to move me closer to actually reaching those goals, okay? The second secret that we have here, and I can give you guys, is kind of, Dana touched on it a little bit earlier, is to be really specific, to be as specific as possible when you are writing down your goals for 2018. Stay away from being really vague. You want to really narrow it down and get as specific as possible. You're way more likely to achieve them if you're specific with what you want to achieve throughout this year. So if you're thinking about, for example, like I said, I want to become a 5-star diamond coach by the end of this year. What specifically are you going to do to help get to that goal? What date are you going to set that you want that to happen? Okay, that's really important. That's going to go right into my third secret. The third secret to actually reaching these goals this year is to, not only do you have these goals and now you have a plan in place and you're taking action and you've reverse engineered it, you've taken those bigger goals, you've worked yourself backwards to see what are these smaller steps that I need to take, but you've actually set dates. You need to set a date for when you want to achieve each of these goals that you put up there. Because we all know that when we have a deadline, we are way more likely to achieve it than if we don't have a deadline, right? How many of you guys, I think about even the diamond push groups that we've run in the past 3.5 years that I've done this. We run these 5 or 6 week diamond push groups where everybody's in the group working hard to become diamond coaches, and they have 6 weeks, and then always at the very end, so many people lock it in. It's because everybody performs better when there is a deadline. So give yourself that date. Look at the date and be working towards that date for you to reach and achieve that goal for this year, and no matter what goal it is. If you don't reach your goal during the date, it's not a big deal, guys. You just pick another date and you keep going. One last piece here that goes along with this is to tell someone what your goals are for this year. So telling either your success partner or telling your team or telling your spouse or sharing exactly what your goals are with somebody else who can help hold you more accountable to them will also help you achieve them. So don't keep them a secret, okay? The next piece I want to talk about here is, before I go into it though, raise your hand and just be honest. How many of you have ever quit on a goal before that you set for yourself, or have just let it go to the back burner? Like, you started out strong, it was on the front burner, and then, life gets in the way, things happen, and it tends to go on the back burner. How many of you have done that before? I know I've done that before, right? I'm going to give you guys 3 different ways that you can prevent that from happening, so that you can keep these goals that you have, this dream that you have, whatever they are, on the front burner all year long. Okay, the very first and most important thing, guys, the reason why it goes to the back burner is not because you don't care about it. It's not because you're not good enough. It's because you're simply not revisiting it enough and visualizing it enough. So you've never really established that emotional connection to it to make it feel like real. So you really need to put into place a visualization process of some sort that you can actually do daily, where you're seeing these goals happen. This is so important. I'm going to give you an example. 5 months ago, we bought our dream house, just not even 10 minutes from the beach in Florida. We moved from Massachusetts. Right now, I'm back up in Massachusetts visiting my family. But 5 months ago, we were able to do this. And I remember that I would close my eyes at night, and I would literally visualize my house right by the beach. I would visualize myself on the beach with my toes in the sand with the kids. I'd visualize the pool at my house, the lanai, the palm trees. I visualized palm trees all around my house. I literally saw it so clearly, you would think it was real. When I closed my eyes, I could see it. I could feel the wind in my hair. I made it become real. You have to have some kind of visualization process like that with your goals, because then you're able to get more of that emotional attachment to it. Okay. So this needs to be done daily. That's why. So whenever you start to feel yourself start to slip, it's probably because you haven't really actually been visualizing it. So always go back to that and do something that's going to work for you. Visualize yourself. When you sit down and actually close your eyes and you're visualizing yourself actually achieving these goals, don't just focus on actually achieving and reaching these goals. Sit down and close your eyes and visualize yourself striving for the goals, struggling through, and then achieving the goals. See, that's the piece right there, is that so many times people set these big, incredible goals for themselves and they have these awesome dreams and they can absolutely happen, but they're missing that one piece. They're focusing on themselves crossing the finish line. They're not thinking about the struggles that they're going to actually have to overcome to get there. And that's a key component and a key piece, because life happens, guys, right? Things are not always going to be easy. So if you get it in your mind and actually visualize the things that could happen, the struggles that could happen that you could face, overcoming them, and then crossing the finish line, that's when you'll see more success with reaching your goals this year. Okay. The second piece of advice that I can give you guys to prevent yourself from putting these goals on the back burner is every single week, you just pick a day. I just always pick like Sundays. Pick a day and give yourself some kind of like a rating on a scale of like 1 to 10. Really give yourself an honest gut check about the past week in terms of how did you line up with actually going out and achieving the goals that you set for that week. Really look at yourself and look back at the week and be honest about it. Like, oh man, I really did drop the ball this week. I didn't invite for 3 days. I mean, I have this bigger goal I want to achieve, but one of my smaller goals and things that I need to do and take action on every day is inviting, and I missed 3 days. Like I should have been more disciplined with that. It's not to beat yourself up. It's because you need to do this self-analyzation and self-assessment so that you can continue to grow and get better, so that you can continue to move closer and closer toward those goals. So by doing that weekly, if you just pick on a scale from, Sunday night reflection, on a scale from 1 to 10, how good did I do? Was I on point this week? Like, I was on point. I'm going to give myself a 9 this week. Or you know what? I think I probably really only going to get a 6 this week because I kind of dropped the ball a little bit. And things are always going to happen, guys. That's why it's literally impossible for you to reach like every single solitary goal that you set for yourself during the year. Like, things are going to happen. But if you do this self-assessment and this rating scale once a week, it'll help align you with the direction that you need to do, the things that you need to adjust in your daily routine, in your actions, so that you can get closer to that goal. Okay, so give yourself that rating scale weekly. Pick a day, whatever day, like Dana says, Sunday night reflection. See? What you say? What did I do well? What do I need to work on? Exactly. You got to constantly be doing that. And then the third piece right here is to get support. This is a key piece in preventing you guys from letting those goals go from the front burner where they are right now at the beginning of a year where you're super pumped and excited to the back burner. You need to get support. And by that, what I mean is that you need to tell people what your dreams are and what your goals are. You need to tell, whether it's your team, whether it's your success partner, whether it's your spouse, whether it's your family, whether it's your close friends, they need to know and hear what your big dreams and goals are. They need to know why. These are the things that people should know. They need to know what your dreams are, first of all. What are your dreams? Like, if your spouse or your significant other or your best friend, they don't even know what your big dreams are, then you're going to be unlikely to reach them. They need to know. They need to know what your dreams are, why you want to accomplish them, why it's important that you accomplish them, how you're going to try to accomplish them, when you want to accomplish these goals, and what you're willing to do to accomplish them. So all those key pieces there need to be spoken to people, because honestly, if you don't say anything to anybody, like I said earlier, it's going to be really unlikely that it happens. And you've all heard that quote before where a goal unspoken is just a hope. We want people to know what our goals and our dreams are for life, for 2018, for this month, whatever it is, because we want the more people around us cheering for us, the better. Truly, we really do. We're way more likely to meet those if we can do this together. And your upline coach, just like Dana typed in there too in the chat, like your upline coach needs to know. And if you're not sure really what your big goals are or how to even reverse engineer it, like how do I break this bigger goal down so that I actually achieve it, then this is where you want to go, and you want to set up a one-on-one call with your upline coach that they can work with you directly and help you put that plan into place so that you can start to take action. Okay. This can be your best year yet, guys. It really can be. 2018 can be your best year yet. In 1 year from now, you can be in a completely different place. Your business can be in a completely different place. You can grow your business 10 times this year. And so I am really pumped up for you guys and for the teams this year. And I'm pumped to see what this year is going to bring. So I am done. If anybody has any questions, you can comment in the chat or unmute yourself, and then we'll turn it over to Laura.
Kathy, I just want to add something real quick.
Add away.
I just want to add in here, guys, like when you are setting these goals, make sure that you're being realistic with the amount of work that you're willing to do. Because like basically what I'm getting at is, don't say I want to be a 5-star diamond elite coach making a certain amount of money a week if you're not even willing to hit Success Club every month. And I don't mean that to be mean, just saying like make sure that the shit you want is aligning with the work that you're really willing to do. Seriously though, because sometimes like our expectation of what we want to happen doesn't align with the intention and actions that we're taking, and then somewhere along the line there gets disconnect. You know, you struggle with self-confidence or thinking you're not capable or you're falling behind or whatever, right? And we want to go about our goals in a way where we feel confident and excited and have belief in ourselves, and things are changing for us. So just being mindful of like the time it is you have, you know, when you are working the business, making sure that that is focused time and you know what you need to be doing in that time, you know, and like Kathy said, reverse engineering those goals and breaking it down to smaller daily, weekly, monthly goals with the dates to help you get there. And with that said too, this is something I was talking to Laura about earlier, but knowing what the quote balance is you need in your life. And I think balance is a balance is a funny word because it doesn't really exist. That looks a little different every single day, but you know, knowing if there's, you know, a date night that you're going to have with your spouse every week, or certain things that you want to be present for with your kids or whatever, like honoring, I like to say honoring priorities instead of having balance, so that you really have that overall quality of life. Because I'm just going to be really straight up sometimes, is that when you are not honoring your priorities or you don't have those boundaries with your business, and I've been there, I think I would hope that I'm not alone when I can say that I've hit places where I've burned out, right? And when you burn out because you don't have the boundaries or the balance, or, you know, the expectation doesn't match the actions, sometimes you get resentful, right? Or you feel uninspired, or you feel stuck, or you feel unmotivated. And we don't want that to happen, because this business is not a burden. It is a blessing. It is a blessing for us to get to be coaches. It is a blessing for us to be able to share and help people. It is a blessing for us to be able to mentor people to build businesses, right? So we want to keep it in that space. And that really requires being clear on what it is for you, you know, the sacrifices you are and aren't willing to make, the time you are and, you know, you are willing to put into the business, and if that aligns with the goals you have. And like we said, if that's something you need help with, just reach out to your coach and ask, or reach out to your upline if your upline isn't super active. So Laura is going to talk tonight and share some things about her 2017 year because she made absolutely amazing progress in her business. So I wanted her to share.
Hi guys. All right. So I was trying to figure out exactly what you guys might want to hear from me, but I think that sometimes it's hard when you have an upline coach like Dana or Kathy, and they're full time and they've been kind of gunning for it since the beginning, and you're like, well, God, I just like could never do that, right? Like they've got full time, whatever. So I think it's helpful to like see someone from my perspective as well, because I have never been full time. It's totally my intention to go full time, but I'm not at an income level yet where I can. But I've had to occasionally, just like Dana was talking about, in terms of like balance or honoring your other, you know, commitments in your life, whether it's your family or your kids or husband or girlfriend or whatever. But I've had to be like, all right, I need to slow down. Like this month I'm not going to compete with Dana because I'm not going to, like, that's not my goal to hit those numbers this, usually ever. But like, I mean, my goal is always, my new goal for 2018 is to hit SC16 every month. So that's like a big goal for me. And I also, I guess I wanted to talk about shooting big and like thinking big. And one of my coaches is on here. I don't know if she'll remember this conversation that I had with her when she first started coaching. And she was like, yeah, I hope that, I was like, dream big. And she's like, I want to pay for my daughter's dance class or something. And I was like, oh my goodness, like that's amazing, but let's dream a little bigger. Like that, like you can definitely do that. Thanks, Courtney. But basically, so one of my big goals for this year was to be a 5-star elite team. And I felt like it was really possible, but it was going to be a huge push for me. And I felt like, to be honest, I didn't have that goal in 2018. More my goal was income growth. And that's that I vacillate back and forth between recognition and income because I want both, quite honestly. But what I wanted to share with you guys was a little bit of income stats because, like Dana said, I've had a lot of growth on my team this year. And I also want to talk about what kind of growth that is, because I've had a few people join me who've been runners and got to diamond quickly and are killing it. And then I have some people that have joined me and they're kind of like dabbling in it and maybe hitting SC some months, not other months, maybe signing up a person here and there. But you have to remember too that those people still really help your team. Like you don't have to just look for runners, and you need to appreciate the depth that all the different types of coaches are going to bring to your team. For example, I missed elite this year. I'm a 3-star diamond team, and our team Mountain Strong is. And so I reevaluated my goals when I knew I hit that. I missed that qualification period and started gunning for Premier, and I started sharing with my leaders. And this month, one of the ways that I knew I could hit Premier is points wise, I just needed a few more points basically. And I was like, you know what, if this many coaches can hit SC this month, then we should get it, right? And we haven't gotten any official notification yet, just an FYI. But and then it's so funny, when I was doing my SC board today, one of my coaches who I didn't even know, who doesn't even post or do anything, hit SC, like a random person I wasn't even counting on in the numbers. So like you'll have those people in your team, and I guess just value them too, because they're still bringing people to our network. They're bringing challengers. They're spreading the word about like what we're doing and our vision and all of that. But like just a couple of things, it was a little hard for me to figure out my complete income stats, but I was going to tell you. So I've been a coach for, it'll be 3 years in April. And I'm just using kind of an arbitrary week because it did happen to be my best week in December for income this year. But for the week of 12/20 in 2015, I made $245.99. And I'm guessing that was probably like 3 or 4 challenge packs and maybe a little bit of cycle bonus. And then in 12/20 of 2016, a whole year later, my income was $297.85. So that was about $50 income growth, just to show you that, like, I think it's discouraging when you're first coaching and you're just like, Jesus, they're earning this and I'm only like, I'm still at $200. Like, what the hell? So then 12/20 of 2017, this month, that week, I made $1,030. So my income went from $297.85 last year to $1,030 of that week this year. And as a total, I don't know my exact total, but I know that I made over 30,000 this year, which to some people through the world is a full-time income. It's not to me because of where I live and the type of job I do, but that's a full-time, thanks, Kathy, income for people. And that's what you have to remember. Like, this, I found a few runners and I found a little bit more depth to my team this year. I found a few people who just maybe want to wade in Beachbody coaching. They don't want to dive in, but they want to wade. And that has given me volume. I mean, that 1,030, I didn't actually write it down. Maybe I sold one challenge pack, you guys, but that was not because I hit high SC. I technically only hit, I'm fighting this, by the way, but SC8 in December. So maybe it was one challenge pack and I made over $1,000 in a week. And that's really decent income for me. And that's like, I guess I just wanted to give you guys hope because it didn't take any miraculous anything. It takes, I'm not even honestly horribly consistent. But I'm consistent in that I hit SC every freaking month. Like, I have been in SC for 33 months in a row. I've never missed a month. But I share what I love. But I've had really shitty months, you guys. I've had miscarriages. I've had horrible issues with my marriage. I've moved. I've changed jobs. Like, it's not like I sit here and it's easy. And I have 2 little kids and I work, I actually work part-time nursing, but I work 2 hours away from where I live. Like, I have, a lot going on too. So just to kind of know that it's possible and you can go at a slower speed. And yeah, I didn't see a ton of income growth my first 2 years, but once I got, like, literally you can look at almost like January 1st of last year, my business started growing. And not every week is $1,000. Obviously I only made 30,000. What? The show? What's Daddy doing?
Oh.
Okay. I'm on my call and I'm talking now, so please just go play. I can't.
I'll put it on.
Thanks. So yeah, no, it's not through my phone. It was through the actual player on the TV. Okay, I'm giving her my phone. Sorry, guys. This is my life, obviously. It's only 7:15 in Colorado, by the way. That's why the children are awake. But yeah, I guess I think you need to compare yourself to only yourself. And like, Kathy and Dana inspire the hell out of me, and so do a lot of my other coaches. But if that isn't the pace you're going to run, try to find a pace that works for you and share that with your upline coach and figure out, if you just pay for your Shakeology every month, is that going to make you happy? It makes a lot of people really happy, and that's totally okay. That doesn't mean, I still think that you can utilize those people and share the vision with those people and have a greater vision for your team, I guess. I don't know if I was going to share anything else, if that's helpful, but I know that our team has gone through a lot of hard stuff this year, and many of us missed goals that we were working towards. And I think we just have to keep pushing and know that, like, just keep looking for depth to your team. Keep looking for the value that different people can offer to your team, and yeah, run with it. Like, do what feels right to your heart and to you. So I don't know. I think that's all I have.
A round of applause. I love it. So inspiring. I just have to share with you guys that if you didn't know, Laura was a challenger in my challenge group and had zero interest in coaching when she started. She dove into coaching after finishing a challenge group. So basically my point is saying, like Laura is saying, don't discount anybody. Don't think that someone wouldn't be interested. Don't, assume because someone is slow to start that they won't become a rock star. You never know who is gonna connect with you and fall in love with this like you, but it is our job to continue, to show up and share that. And I think what Laura shared is just so inspiring. And I asked her to speak about that because she does work another job. You know, she is a busy mom. She has a lot on her plate. And like she mentioned, you know, Kathy and I, like, I know sometimes it's hard to relate when you are working a full-time job to people that are already full-time, because you just think like, oh, well, they have more time and it's easier or it's whatever, right? Like she said, keep your blinders on of what it is you need to do to get where you're going. And that's how things happen like that. I'm just so excited for Laura and her team. But I hope that that really shows you what is possible for you if you get really clear on what it is you want and what's going to get you there. And no matter what, keep showing up for it, because like she also said, and you know, like a lot of us know, life happens, hard shit happens, obstacles are going to get thrown in your way. You're going to miss goals. You're going to have people quit. You're going to have things, you know, that just happen that you don't expect. And the more solid you are in your why and your vision and the goals that you want to achieve, at the end of the day, you know, it's a decision to keep showing up no matter what. And sometimes, you know, you're going to have to pump the brakes a little bit and get your mind right, or get yourself reinvigorated, or, you know, like Kathy said, align yourself with that vision and think about that every day to stay inspired. But it's truly incredible what happens in the course of a year if you show up no matter what. And that's what we all have laid out in front of us for 2018. So does anybody have questions or things that they want to share? Is everybody excited? Some look really happy. Some look not so happy, but maybe it's just because it's late. I don't know.
Wait, I want to take a picture of everybody, so hold on.
I'm going to take another one because nobody was smiling when I took mine.
Yeah, we all have to smile. Okay, I'm going to give this to the, wait a minute, let me make this bigger over here on my end. Bear with me, guys.
Oh, Kathy. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
You take your picture first.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, smile. Thanks, guys.
I just want to say one more thing added into this, guys. Like, if you have an upline coach that is eager and willing, which, you know, if you're one of our coaches on our team, all of us are more than willing to get on a phone call and help you navigate through these goals. But remember that at the end of the day, success is on you. Like, it was not on my upline. It was not on, you know, my coaches. It was not on anybody else but me to show up and take the actions every day. And that is the case for all of us. Like, this is a business. And if we don't work it, it doesn't grow for us, right? And with that said, in terms of goal setting, and I don't know why, but I thought that this was something really important to mention, especially if you're working towards a goal like 2-star or 5-star or premier or things like that. This was a lesson that I learned really early on, and it's a lesson that I continue to learn, and is probably one of the hardest lessons to learn in the business, is that not everybody is going to come in and run like you do if you're a runner, right? Like I posted in the comments, like, you have to love people where you're at. And when you have your coaches, like, figuring out what their goals are, what pace they want to work at, you know, when they want to achieve things by, and helping them do that. Like, it is not our job to put things on people or tell them what they have to do and push them towards it, right? It doesn't work like that. But with that said, is if you have a goal like 2-star or 5-star, and you don't have the coaches that are on your team right now that have the goals that align with your goals, then go out and find the coaches that will. Find the people that want to lock arms and run with you towards those things. And it's forever, you know, a balance of just loving people where they're at, of running with the ones who want to run with you, and just keep going. And that's what makes this business so fun, is the dynamic of everybody together really rallying for a common mission. So I just wanted to share that, because sometimes that can be really hard when you have certain things that you want to achieve and things just don't pan out the way you expect them to, right? So it's like that Tony Robbins quote of trade expectation for appreciation, and everything changes. So
I just have one last thing. Sorry, guys. I really wanted to end this like 5 minutes ago, but it really is true though, guys. Like just through like trial and error and mistakes and failures, since I've been doing this now for 3.5 years, the more excitement that you can bring to your team, the more energy that you have, like the more momentum together as a whole, as a team, there will be. The more that you can level up, the more that you step up, the more your team is going to step up too. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Like think back to what Dana said at the beginning of this call and just keep it fun, keep having fun with this, but also know too that it really is, like if you're in this to build a business, it really is the speed of the leader is the speed of the pack. So keep that in the back of your mind, keep having fun with it, set the goals, but get energized, be enthusiastic, bring that like energy to your team, and then everybody else is going to follow suit. All right. All done? I was going to end it unless you want to end it.
Nope. I'll finish. There's always
Okay.
You know me.
Cool, guys. Let's rock it out this year. And thanks so much for being on. You guys are amazing. Can't wait to see what 2018 brings your way, guys. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys. Thank you, Laura.